Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to react to Indiana Jones 5 Destroyed by Critical Drinker. And I can already imagine that he's going to tear this movie apart even before it's released into the theaters and that sort of thing. But before I'm going to react to it, I just want to say some things that is important. I have played Redfall. I did not buy it. I want to make that clear. I did not buy it. I got it from a friend. Borrowed it from his Xbox. Bethesda, you have seriously... I know, Bethesda is the publisher, the Arcane Austin is the developer of the game, but Bethesda did publish it. I wanna say you something. I'm fucking serious right now. I am worried. Fallout 76 was a fucking catastrophe. It just baffled my fucking mind right now. And now Redfall. Seriously seriously Bethesda. I'm actually thinking like I'm not gonna buy Starfield. I don't give a fuck anymore. Bethesda, this is not acceptable anymore. The joke has gone on far fucking enough right now. To release such an absolute shit game in such a shit state, you can't not tell me with a straight face that this game was fucking playtested. I'm serious, $70 fucking for a broken ass shit ass game. Bethesda, Microsoft especially also, you're also part of this fucking guild. You need to do better. I am actually thinking I'm not gonna buy Starfield. I think it's going to be a fucking disaster. I'm sorry, I need to get it out there. I need to, because I'm so sick and tired of video games that is like what do you call it, the Jedi, the Star Wars game right now. Jedi Fallen Order. I don't remember. I don't give a shit about it either. But apparently also it suffered from bugs, glitches, crashes, all this sort of thing. How is it that indie games can figure this out, but not a AAA studio that got millions and millions of investment in video games? Seriously, guys, it's not that fucking hard. How do you go just do... What are you doing? You can go back and use old engines or something. Like the currently new generation of game engines. It's not really there yet. The technology for our computers are not really there yet. And Hogwarts Legacy, for example, showcased that it's not the most next generation graphics or something like that. It's good looking, absolutely, but it's not like next generation. I mean, I can go back 10 years and I actually did play a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition, and the graphic looks really good. It's still, at the time, the computers struggled with it. Now, perfectly. But I'm so sick of tired of these games that comes out and just being shit nowadays from AAA studios. I'm especially from Bethesda, that actually hurt. Not just because of Fallout 76, that was just an absolute disaster. Bethesda, if Starfield is going to be an absolute mess, I will tell you, I'm cutting you out. I don't care about the next Elder Scrolls, which hurt my fucking heart right now, because I love Elder Scrolls. It's a part of my childhood, it's a part of my absolute love for fantasy. But I will cut anything would have to do with Bethesda if Starfield is shit, comes out shit and all this glitches and bugs and all sort of things. I'm so sick and tired of this shit. You need to stop. You need to start working on your games right now, or either you especially update your engine. And this is not just to Bethesda, it's also to Arcane. In my opinion, you should be fucking ashamed of what you have done. $70 for a broken game? Go to hell. Thankfully I didn't buy it, as I said. But I'm in shock that even some prices for the game was like $100. Anyway, Indiana Jones 5. Here's the thing. Indiana Jones is a fantastic franchise in my opinion. I love Ark and the Covenant. It's a time classic, absolutely. Temple of Doom, not really my favorite. It's still enjoyable, it's still watchable. Then you have The Last Crusade, which is just, oh my god, it's such a good movie with good actors and it's such a good story. So good. Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls is, I can see the potential, like they're having that kind of like Aztec cultures and so sort of mythology with their kind of way. And a lot of people say they like and don't like the communist being the next villain. Honestly, and some people say, oh, it doesn't make sense. Are you serious? Like people, you think Adolf Hitler and his National Socialists were crazy? You need to read a fucking history book about communism and Joseph Stalin and Mao Zedong or Pol Pot. I think communists would be extremely logical to use because these people were absolute fucking crazy. Anyway, let's see what Critical Drinker says about this. I can imagine he's going to tear this movie apart before it's even out.
You know, one of the things that provides some much needed comfort when I wake up in my neighbour's garden in a pool of my own urine is, well, at least I don't have to work at Lucasfilm. I mean, damn man, I can only imagine the workplace atmosphere there.
This is from the, what is it called now? It's the Titanic movie. A Night to Remember, I think it was called. It's actually really like, I really love this movie. Like James Cameron's movie and all that. It's okay, but A Night to Remember, it's such a good Titanic movie. It follows the event a bit more accurate here and there, and the actors are really good. Like, oh wow. And I do know some of them from other kind of videos from this time period. But I gotta say, A Night to Remember, if you haven't seen it, I implore you, watch it. It's even, I think you can see it for free on YouTube and other places. It's like an hour or something. It's really good. Be mindful, it's kind of, I think it was made in 1940s, if I remember correctly. So yeah, the effects and that sort of thing aren't really best, but it's still a really good movie.
There must be a bit like the restaurant on the Titanic an hour after hitting the iceberg. Everyone's still there and still going through the motions, but it all must seem increasingly pointless in a wider context. Not only have they presided over the disastrous Star Wars sequel trilogy that saw a 50% decline in box office revenue from the first to the last movie, not to mention entire stores filled with shelf after shelf of unsold merchandise, but
I have said that before. Star Wars toys doesn't sell anymore. Mainly sequel characters and that sort of thing. I've said it before, even here in Sweden, people don't buy it because it's shit movies, shit characters, period. Understand, Disney.
But they also managed to produce the only Star Wars film in history to actually lose money.
The Solo... what was it called? Yes, Solo Star Wars story. Yeah, it looks good. Absolutely, it looks good. But the story, I said before as well, when it comes to heist movies, I hate heist movies. They are so predictable. I don't know how many times people have said, oh, this heist movie is going to be so new. But every time, I don't know how people are falling for this. Heist movies, no matter if it's a sci-fi, fantasy, realistic, historical, all of them are the same.
To produce the only Star Wars film in history to actually lose money.
Well, when all else fails, Fresh tactics.
That's right, John Travolta. And in this case, their fresh
Wow,
tactic
he
was
was
to
young.
churn out as many cheap, rushed, and badly written Star Wars TV shows as possible on Disney Plus, in what I like to call the throw a bunch of shit against the wall and hope something sticks approach. And funnily enough, this approach eventually backfired with the release of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and The Mandalorian Season 3, basically the holy trifecta of shit.
This is the way.
This is the way.
If the sequel trilogy had put Star Wars on life support, then I'm pretty sure the Disney Plus shows pulled the plug altogether. But it's not just the movies and TV shows that have fallen apart. The opening of the Galaxy's Edge theme park was a great chance for them to revive interest in the brand, giving fans...
Oh my god. I reacted to a World Class Bullshitters video about the subject. Yeah, we told you this was going to happen and all that sort of thing. Like, oh my, Disney, you're so dumb. Why aren't you listening? DeSantis, destroy them, please.
a chance to interact with their favourite characters like Luke Skywalker, or Han Solo, or Princess Leia. That was the idea, at least, until Kathleen Kennedy bravely stepped in and mandated that the whole place had to be themed around the sequel trilogy instead. You know, the one that nobody actually liked and didn't buy any merchandise for. Nice job, Kathy. I can definitely see why you were made president of Lucasfilm. But imagine our shock when nobody was interested in going to Galaxy's Edge.
No way!
And then there was the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah, that one.
Tell me, would you be interested in spending $6,000 a night to play dress up?
I will say the Imperial uniform are so good looking. I gotta say it, both for male and females. It's so bad, and of course I think this was a first order uniform, which were just yeah, but the Imperial uniform are just better.
Up with a bunch of amateur dramatic actors in a generic look.
Yeah, false advertising with that lightsaber. Sorry, I'm pausing, but that is not how the lightsabers looks like. It looks fucking terrible. It's just a flashlight. I mean, you can buy some really good produced lightsabers. I don't own one, but a friend of mine, he has like bought a very quality lightsaber. It looks fucking cool as hell. And then he said the price for it. I was like, no.
Space-themed hotel that could be from basically anywhere, based around a trilogy of movies that you probably didn't even like in the first place? Nah, me neither. Which probably explains why nobody fucking went to it, and their billion-dollar project had to be closed down after barely a year. But their failures weren't confined to a galaxy far, far away, dear viewer. Oh no, there was plenty of other properties left to destroy right here on Earth. Like Willow, the unwanted low-budget TV sequel to a not particularly popular 1980s fantasy movie that went down so well, Disney Plus...
Well, that's Ruby. Honestly, yes, she's cute. Gonna point it out, but yeah. Willow, I did see it. I did watch the movie before I saw the series. And honestly, the movie is just better than the series. 100% above it. Even though it's not the best movie I ever watched, but it's still far better than the series. The series was just a complete disaster, and we just, what the hell is going on? It's all falling apart. Like, what the hell is going on? You had a chance here. You had actually a good chance here, Disney, to kind of like build a fantasy world for your own, but you just completely disastrously failed at it.
Actually removed it from their server altogether. I mean, if I was them, I'd probably lock it in a fucking vault and dump it in the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean. But there was one property that hadn't been completely bulldozed into the ground quite yet. The King of Adventure, one of the most iconic heroes in cinematic history. Indiana Jones. Undeterred by their seemingly endless string of creative and financial failures, Lucasfilm bravely resurrected him for one final adventure, mostly so that he could pass on the whip and fedora to a younger, cheaper, and more diverse actor that could be safely milked for another decade or two.
No.
Sure, they didn't have George Lucas coming up with ideas or Steven Spielberg directing anymore, but who cares? They were probably over...
What are they doing nowadays? Like Spielberg and George Lucas? I haven't heard anything. Like I can imagine George Lucas have retired to his Skywalker ranch and just living his life right now with the money gained from selling Star Wars to Disney. Spielberg, when was the last time he did a movie? I think it was, what was it called? It was kind of like that Children with Superpowers. It was a long time ago. I think he did Player One or something was called. I haven't heard anything from Spielberg for a very long time. I mean, he's probably retired as well. I mean, how much money haven't he earned throughout four decades? Even though, yeah, Indiana Jones 5, not his best, to be honest. I can just imagine they are just living life right now, even though they are probably retired, both of them right now.
Rated anyway, and I'm sure today's batch of top-notch creatives are more than a match for previous generations of filmmakers. And to really guarantee their success, Lucasfilm brought in Phoebe
Why her? Why? In my opinion, she's not a good actress. I've seen some movies with her, and she's not a good actress. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you in your acting. Why the hell did they pick her instead of a specific character in Indiana Jones canon right now? His freaking son. Even the Mummy series acknowledged that the main character had a son to pass on the torch to.
Waller-Bridge to star opposite Indy and show him how things are done in 2023. I mean, I don't really know why every exec in Hollywood seems to think she's destined to be the next big thing, but whatever. Every once in a while, Hollywood just seems to become obsessed with random British comedians and tries to shove them into everything. Tell me, how did that work out with James Corden, guys? And no, we're not taking him back. Either way, Lucasfilm were determined to make this movie into a success, no matter how much money they had to throw at it. Which probably explains why they ended up reshooting the same movie like 3 times over in a never-ending quest to produce some...
Yeah, the rumors from this movie are insane. Like, not only the stories, the alleged stories, I should say, about time travel. Like, what? And then, of course, the reshoot. It's just... what is going on? Like, seriously, what is going on?
Something that wasn't complete dog shit. I mean, produce something that they could all be truly proud of. And proud they apparently were. So much so that they screened the movie at the Cannes Film Festival and lifted the review embargo more than a month before the film's release. A decision which I'm pretty sure they regret now. But hey, let's take a look at some of these gems, shall we? Like this one from the good old BBC. I'm not sure how many fans want to see Indiana Jones as a broken, helpless old man who cowers in the corner while his patronising goddaughter takes the lead, but that's what we're given, and it's as bleak as it sounds.
Not a great plan.
Or how about this one from IndieWire? Not only is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny an almost complete waste of time, it's also a belaboured reminder that some relics are better left where they belong. If only previous entries in this series had taken great pains to point that out. Or how about this one from the Daily Telegraph? The Dial of Destiny ultimately feels like a counterfeit of priceless treasure. The shape and the gleam of it might be superficially convincing for a bit, but the shabbier craftsmanship gets all the more glaring the longer you look. The film's loaded with mayhem but painfully short on spark and bravado. There's no shot here, no twist of choreography that makes you marvel at the filmmaking mind that conceived it. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not exactly pumped for this one. Basically, everything that we all predicted when this movie was first announced seems to have come true. It's an overblown, overhyped and unnecessary sequel to a franchise that should have ended 30 years ago, built around an actor that's far too old for this stuff now, with the unwelcome addition of a smug, unlikable female lead that's clearly being groomed to replace him. Oh wait, I was talking about The Force Awakens. Dial of Destiny, on the other hand, seems like an overblown, overhyped and unnecessary sequel to a franchise that should have ended 30 years ago, built around an actor that's far too old for this stuff now, with the unwelcome addition of a smug, unlikable female lead that's clearly being groomed to replace him. Ah, that's better. And what makes...
God, I can't watch the end of the sequel. It cringed the hell out of me. Like, specific scenes and all. Oh no. Oh, Disney, you have like burned my eyes with this shit movies.
What's even worse is the insane amount of money that's been spent trying to polish this turd. Almost 300 million according to most estimates. Not only does that make it more and more difficult...
Did he say fuck? No, he didn't.
Almost 300 million according to most estimates.
$300 million. Honestly, in my opinion, shut it down. Like, cancel it. Like, I know, yeah, Disney has the money has the money, but $300 million. A lot of money that could have been put to better use, in my opinion. The fact that some movies, cult movies that just produce a good movie with just a budget with like what, 20 million, can last even today to be good, awesome, and just controversial in sort of way. Let's continue. It's almost over.
Not only does that make it more and more difficult to actually turn a profit, but it usually results in a shitty end product as well. You can always tell a movie that the studios lost confidence in and started messing with, because at best it ends up as a safe, boring, designed by committee corporate product with no heart or soul to it, and at worst a bloated, choppy mess that tries to balance the needs and ideas of far too many people. Either way, it becomes something that nobody wants to see. So basically what I'm saying is that Indy 5 is shaping up to be a flop of epic proportions, and probably the last nail...
In a way, even though I said I'm not interested, it's so weird. I just feel like, in a way, I am interested. Not like to watch it, but to see the after effect, the reviews, and of course the the revenue, the income revenue for this movie. It's specifically like 3 months after, like or the opening weekend. It just, I cannot imagine. I am trying to look forward to like imagine how it will look, how it will like affect the Indiana Jones fans.
Nail in the coffin of Lucasfilm as a creative entity. At this point, they've become like some kind of reverse King Midas. Everything they touch seems to turn from gold into steaming piles of dog shit. They're a studio that's run out of ideas, run out of creative energy, and most importantly, run out of franchises to ruin. This is it. This was the last one, and they completely blew it. If this was any other studio, in fact, any other company in Hollywood at all, I'd be willing to bet that the entire leadership team would have been fired years ago for this shit. I mean, really, how many hundreds of millions of dollars do you have to lose before your investors decide enough is enough? How many fans do you have to push away and alienate? How many toys have to get sent to landfill because nobody fucking wants them? Lucasfilm is, quite simply, a joke now. A cruel, expensive, destructive joke to be sure, but a joke all the same. A company founded by geniuses and inherited by morons. A studio that spent billions of dollars and hasn't produced a single worthwhile product in decades. A parasite that sucks the life and soul out of everything it touches and leaves behind broken, withered husks in its wake. And maybe The Dial of Destiny will be the movie that finally kills it. If so, I'm not gonna shed any fucking tears for them. Anyway, That's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Those are some hurtful but facts. Hurtful facts. Yeah, the movie industries are in deep trouble for the future as well. Always critical drinkers making some absolute insanely good quality videos about debates and that sort of thing, and reviews and analysts and that sort of thing. And yeah, go and sub to him. He deserves it. I don't know. It's like a world that's just another dimension. It feels like I went to sleep one night, and then when the next morning came up, I woke to a completely new dimension where everything that I liked is just completely destroyed. For mostly the case, greed, money, and political agendas. I have said it. It happened first with Star Wars. I have denounced and renounced the Disney Star Wars. I don't acknowledge anything that Disney puts out with Star Wars as canon. Doesn't matter if it is good nowadays or in the future. I don't care. They are denounced by me. The only way to kind of repair it is if Disney just say, okay, we're gonna completely decanonize, destroy anything that we have done since 2012, something like that, when they bought the rights to Star Wars. It might kind of like turn my head a little bit, but otherwise, nowadays I don't give a damn about Star Wars anymore. I don't give a damn about your products anymore. You have destroyed it. You have screwed up Disney. You have only yourself to blame. Not only because you destroyed the Star Wars brand, but also because you have really hurt your fan base, and especially the Star Wars fan base. And now you are going to screw with the Indiana Jones fan base. Like, it's a very weird time to seize this time classics that has been that once used to be a top. It's like the Roman Empire, but in very small, compressed, unseeable material. It's like it used to be up there. It used to be something we all love and just worship in sort of way, and we'll bask in the glory of its absolute genius in sort of way. And then the pedestal it was starting to crumble, and it started to leak money out of it, and people just starting to grab the money, and the people were just destroying, and it's just anyway, guys, hope you like this. I mean, I'm sorry, it's a little bit depressing, that sort of thing. It's just truthful facts that's just been hitting you on your face, and you just have to accept it. Honestly, I'm for DeSantis in right now. DeSantis, you have my permission to just hand fist Disney into the oblivion right now. I am fucking done with them. Anyway, see you all later for another video. We shall see what it's going to be.